Hey everybody, it's Trainers103 here, today with another replay analysis. We're looking at a game from Admiral Quet from the Wargaming Pay to Win community. I know he's an incredibly good carrier player, so with this replay analysis I'm going to be trying to be as critical and nitpicky as possible, because I mean that's really what you want, is me to see what I would have done. Anyways, we're playing our Hakuryuu. It is, I think this is after the changes? I'm actually not sure. I don't remember anymore. It's 0.6.13, so I don't think so. But regardless, what it looks like is we're going the full 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 launch, which means because we have torpedo servicing, we're gonna have 3 torpedo bombers up, then our fighters, then our dive bombers, which is a perfectly fine thing to do. Although normally versus the Midway, I would only launch 2 of the torpedo bombers, then my fighters, because usually against Shimos and Yukimos, you don't really need the third one to either critically damage them or even kill them if we get lucky. Let me just select all the planes and see where we are flying them. For the moment, I think our dive bombers are ordered to escort ourselves, which isn't really the most important thing. Normally, I would immediately fly towards the middle of the map, just because it's, you know, we potentially could get aggressively on the opponent's side of the map, and then actually get an attack off. Especially against destroyers, because usually that's what I prefer to try to get rid of. Second thing, another thing we're doing here, if you look at the ship, we're immediately heading away, which means these fighters, the last one is going to arrive a little... Well, I mean, it's going to arrive at about the same time as if we would just stayed still, which kind of reduces the entire purpose of doing a headwind launch. Just going to pause it here. If we can actually... There we go, get access to the camera. You can see we spawn about here. We've pretty much just done like this kind of a move now, so if possible, you know, just go like quarter speed or half speed this direction, at least get the critical planes, in this case fighters, and because we wanted to launch torpedo bombers before, we basically have to wait until the fighters are airborne, then we can start breaking away. We can have the ship sailing at a, you know, slight angle like this, even a little bit like you can see here to here. Even if we get spotted, we need to keep in mind, it's only 3 battleships, they are Yamatos, so they will get spotted from far away. They'll immediately get spotted, and, you know, these guys at 26-kilometer range, they still have like 30-odd seconds to get their shells from wherever they are to you. So even if you do get spotted, which is basically impossible because we know our opponent is in Midway, he's only starting to get like his squadrons, you know, going here. So we're pretty much safe to head to be up here, and if we do get spotted, we can just break away. So it's usually not a big deal. Anyways, continuing to play ball, we do the pretty standard towards mid. If we had, for example, stacked up, you know, not stacked up our planes, we would have already been in a position to engage this Yugamo quite a while ago, but this is exactly what we're going to do. We can see that the opponent fighters are coming in. This is the strength of Hakuryuu, even after the Midway changes. You have this incredible ability to get in there and kill the destroyer before the opponent actually gets to react. In this case, we've done the attack already, so we just need to intercept his fighter. Be careful in case he strafes! So that could have been very, very, very nasty for our fighters. And we can see he's now disengaged strafing to catch our fighters. We do actually catch an extra torp on the 2 extra torps on the Yugamo. He does try to do continuous strafing against our dive bombers. He's probably going to just sit this tag now, which means we need to finish him off. Don't know about you know, the computer specs. I believe he plays on a laptop, so maybe not the world's best FPS at this point. I don't think the marker up there actually tells me the real FPS that he would have had. No, I really don't think it does. So maybe he just didn't have the ability to actually you know, break them away due to low FPS. I'm not sure about here. You'll just have to correct me if anything, but. Normally in situations where you are presenting a baitable head-on strafe like that, you want to just split them up, 1 to each side, and have them strafe straight down the middle, and then latch him onto the side, and then he won't be able to achieve anything. And just try to... But we've basically confirmed that this opponent Midway is incredibly strafe heavy, and I think he's even running 1-1-3. So we just need to be aware of that, and try to avoid getting ourselves into situations where this guy can actually strafe away a good chunk of our planes. But because of his multiple strafing, he's basically fed us his 7-plane squad for 3 losses, which is fine, because he basically did 2 disengaged strafes off us, which fed us 2 kills for free. You see, we're also using the big map, and we're also moving our carrier a little bit farther away. It's not a mistake, it's just something that, you know, if you do feel that you are comfortable with doing this kind of move, you can try to be a little bit closer. Regardless, I think perhaps the Rune has used his, I'm not sure, and now I think it's broken a little bit. There we go. The enemy carrier does kill our Yugumo, which is a bit unfortunate, but we traded Yugumo, they traded Yugumo, but our turnaround times do permit us to get off attacks much faster, and we know the enemy Midway is being rather aggressive on the western side of the map, so if we are able to kill off these enemy ships over there, as I think we probably misclicked our defensive, I mean, there's no planes here, there's no need for using it, and we recognize the mistake, we immediately double P and cycle it, so that in the event the enemy carrier does try to go for us, because he'll need some time to get his planes back, and then he'll probably be looking to go down the borders. He'll probably, we'll probably have it ready again by the time that happens. Anyways, we can quite clearly see that this Yamato is our next target. We're going in with our full HP squadron here. Gonna click him. We see that his plane is just landing. We know that the Midway is not really going to be here yet, although he can be here shortly. We do get one fire on him, we just need to pay attention to up here. Is it damage control party or not? It doesn't seem to be any. I'm not even sure, maybe he has fire prevention. Let me just personally take the camera in. And yes, it does in fact seem the guy has fire prevention. It's no big deal if we just select all of our torpedo bombers and give this guy the face full of planes. So we actually have our fighters escorting our torpedo bombers. Normally I suggest against this, but if like your computer is horrible, your FPS is horrible, and you don't actually have the micro ability to, from the hardware to perform feats like that, then, I can totally understand it, but RNG decided to take a bit of a dump on us, and we don't actually get a flooding. That's not biggie, we've done a lot of damage to him, and he probably would have damage control party that anyway, so we can just send our dive bombers in there and go ham. Again, in a situation like this, let's just pause this. This is the first time I've viewed the replay, so I haven't seen it, I don't know what's going to happen or not, but normally, and you can see we're kind of doing it. If you want to bait this guy into doing something against us, we can see the only anti-aircraft he has is a shimmy, and it's unlikely that's going to do too much. So we just fly both of them like this and this at him, so that he wants to strafe it. Like this kind of just auto attack. He wants to strafe it, and then when we see that the icons are close enough that he can potentially start strafing. So basically like this and this, like when his fighter is here. Just like this, up, this, down, he strafes down mid. If he doesn't strafe down mid and he goes for one of the squadrons, just immediately auto-attack onto it with the closest squadron and then get the other one in. Because a lot of the times, you can just, you can just trade fight them down. Or if you split them sufficiently far enough, just immediately disengage strafe and then the second one come down and strafe, and you can be incredibly fast and often catch your opponent off guard. But what we know here is that the opponent Midway is pretty strafe heavy, so we should be able to get away with either a bait or just click fighting him where he can't do a disengaged strafe. We just need to be fully aware of our opponent carrier, basically, and if we do, for example, if he does chase one on the click tag it, we need to be aware that he can immediately disengage strafe our other squadrons, so just be aware of that. It's something that, it's all about learning what our opponent aircraft carrier is about to do. That's really about it. Anyways, let's playing. We can see we're pretty much doing that, although this time we're splitting up a little bit. We are risking ourselves a head-on strafe from him, but it seems like he doesn't go for it, so that's pretty much a good old free kill for us. We do go with the dive bombers, unfortunately a little bit further ahead. One of our squadrons is probably going to equally bleed. Slightly under lead drop over here, but I guess we're aiming for his stern, and there we go, we're annihilating our opponent's fighters right now. 2 losses for 7 kills, which is perfectly fine. So now we just need to cycle a number 3 squadron, which is out of ammunition, and keep the other one around to try to at least cut off the opponent's strike on the way home. He spots us, but it's absolutely no big deal whatsoever. We can just go for the click on the... There you go, we go for the click on the dive bomber. Now, I'm not so sure about trying to drop the bow. I personally would recommend dropping the stern, because it's a bit of a bigger target. But in the heat of a moment, I can totally see that being a little bit of a misclick. And at this point... Oh, we're going for the chop, the dive bomber strafe. We realize that it's a miss, so we go for the click fight just to panic it. And now we're going for the other, maybe go for the other one. And there we go, swap the tag onto the other one. The chopper probably is stuffed because those are AP shells from the rune coming. He just needs to hit one overpen and the guy's going to go down. And there you go, rune does pick up the kill. Yamalol, we pick up the flooding on him, so good riddance as well. And we pick up some of the Midway's planes on the return path, which is also a very good thing. I mean, we're never going to deplane the Midway's... we're never going to deplane him of dive bombers just by click fighting them. So it's not really a big thing. In that kind of a situation with the bombers, I don't know. I think both moves are perfectly legit, although I probably would have considered just strafing his torpedo bombers to death on the way home. because he never really stacked his planes up, so we pretty much confirmed the information that our opponent aircraft carrier is not the world's best at performing proper-looking attacks. That's a defensive anti-aircraft, and we can see we're flying there with the alt button held down, because we immediately break away because we realize that both squadrons are being panicked, and a floating fighter can only panic one. So yeah, we've confirmed that, so now we just need to come back in 40 seconds, maybe even bring a fighter along just to kill his what's his face again, the floatplane fighter, just to get rid of at least one source of panic. We spot enemy fighters coming in. Normally, in this kind of situation, if we're flying into defensive anti-aircraft like that, either we have an intention of striking or we don't. But in this case, knowing the enemy fighters are basically going to be coming online again, we basically need to break away from that attack. And we can see the opponent's fighters are chasing our torpedo bombers. He actually decides to break away instead of chancing a strafe. He probably saw our fighter coming in, and he knew that if he did go for a strafe, he probably would suffer out a little bit, which is kind of beneficial for us. Due to the speed of that rate of turnaround on the opponent's fighters and his torpedo bombers, as we now go for a strafe, as our opponent carries strafe, so that was a little bit of an interesting wipe, and we might even kill a couple of planes on our return path here, on our own planes here. We're going to go for the strafe, which means that we will definitely kill our own squadron, and we kill it just before it even gets the drop, which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, I guess we're trying to deplane the enemy midway of fighters, and a damaged torpedo bomber squadron isn't that big of a deal at that point. It's a little bit shitty to lose that still, but the shimmy is still there, and if we have our more planes coming in, we can potentially achieve something. We've killed off his fighter now, which is nice for us, but I mean, we're not going to achieve much. We see the enemy midway is now spotted. He is in a bit of an awkward position if we had more force on the western side, but I guess he took that risk by mostly striking on that side. And of course, he's going to continue to strike on that side simply because of the fact that he is on there, you know. I mean, we get 7 dive bomber hits. Wow! Nicely placed drops on the shimmy, invis in the smoke, very well done. So that guy's going to have a really, really bad time already. We're forcing the dive bombers into the drop. Our torpedo bombers even into the smoke as well. We even get a hit on flooding, double hit, and the shimmy goes down. Amazingly well executed drop. Well done. It's beautiful. So that's a very, very useful kill for us because we stopped them from capturing Bravo. Now our number 3 fighter is low on ammo, so we either use that just to bait stuff on the opponent team, or just use it to, you know, tag, for example, the opponent's fighters, and then, you know, strafe with the other one. But I wouldn't suggest just throwing away 5 fighters out of the blue. So I probably would just suggest that it's, you know, you pull it back home and cycle the ammunition on it. Regardless, our opponent team is now splitting up. They have a 28 HP Tirpitz, which just, whoever the hell shot at him just straddled, which is unfortunate. But at this point, I'd say that the enemy Yamato, if he's going to be ending up split from the rest of his team, he could be a very valid target. Otherwise, we just need to defend against the enemy's midways stuff, and then just move our carrier straight to the western side of the map, because that's the side we're currently winning, and focus 100% of our defense on killing this, because that midway is spotted at the moment, and then we just pause this, we're going for the hipper. But just to keep in the back of our heads here, if we can keep this midway spotted, even if these guys are being silly and not killing off him, and as long as we can stop this guy from striking as much as possible, we're increasingly adding frustration onto this guy's mindset, which means he's going to be spending less and less focus on you and what you're trying to do, which gives you free play on this side. I mean, you pretty much have free play already on these guys, because he is purely focused on dealing with this, because that's coming up his dick, and is trying to get rid of him. So yeah, I'd say full focus should be on defense here. This fighter, the number 3 fighter, it's incredibly low on ammo, but it's got enough ammo that it can maybe kill 1 or 2 planes on a strafe, or just use it as a panic button in case, because these guys don't have a defensive anti-aircraft here. Anyways, let's go back to watching a drop on the Nipper, and we can see no defensive anti-aircraft up yet. It's just a floatplane fighter coming in. The Kiev is probably about to get Yamato'd across half the map. We've committed the drop, and we're immediately swapping our focus onto defense. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late, so this Tirpitz is definitely going to die at this point, I think. The torpedo bombers actually go for the Edinal as we pick up the Hipper. Very, very good drop there. I wouldn't even bother trying to strafe anything here because our ammunition is so low. Well, we do opt for the strafe, so I would just pull the fighter away. We know it's out of ammo. The other one, we also know is out of ammo. So, the Tirpitz kind of survived, so I guess it's not too bad. And now that the fighter is the only thing under the anti-aircraft, the opponent aircraft carrier will probably just face a little bit of training, even though our ammo is down. But you can see we are actually getting some pretty good the anti-aircraft on this team is actually pretty good. So we're getting some really good picks there, which is nice. I mean, this guy's now angled and running away, but he's incredibly low HP. I don't know if we caught the information or not, but it's definitely possible for us just to send a couple of torpedo bombers in there and finish the job later on. We also know that the opponent's fighters are rather low. We do a little bit of a derpy looking drop here, but we do get the rear fire. The guy's fire prevention, so it's no big deal. And he's currently burning a ticket, which is perfectly fine for us. And guess what? He just damage control bodied. So we just need to hope we get some good luck and get the floodings and fire. We're using this dive bomber to currently suck attention of the enemy's flow plane fighter, but it's no big deal. He's just landed it, so we can just order it to land. And we do exactly that. We realize that it is, in fact, on the way home. We're aiming for the slightly back end of the Yamato. Hopefully we can get a double fire. Unfortunately, only one. And we are actually panicked by the Kutuzov, so maybe if we try to attack from the other side, this could have gone a little bit better. But if we're lucky, we'll hit him on the front. Yes, there we go, flooding. So, sayonara, Yamato. You're dead. Anyways, we're now running our ship away, and we definitely need to consider doing that because, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. This guy's even farther away from us. So, time to run. And now I would focus on attacking the rune. And yes, it is only 190k damage needed because, as you can see, Yamato torpedoes. It's only 3 battleships. It's usually the number of battleships that determines this. But yes, at this point, we know that the Kutuzov has triggered defensive anti-aircraft, so just getting rid of this poor guy inside of the smoke screen, who, well, I mean, if he's going to sit in the smoke screen and there's no enemy, there's aircraft here, which there definitely won't be because the carrier is fully focused on attacking this. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to stop that, but this squadron over here, I would just, yeah, there we go. We're bringing it up a little bit, just plant it right in there because this guy is only now able to spot our planes. So yeah, Kutuzov, have a nice day. Bye. We knew he was reasonably low HP, so that was definitely a worthwhile pickup to get. The Des Moines should now easily be able to just, let me check his health. If he's reasonably healthy, yeah, he can easily just go insert gun in Kutuzov and finish the job off. And now we've finally got our planes here to support the Armageddon. At this point, what I would say is get the planes as far up here as possible without spotting the Midway. We do not want to spot the Midway at this point because we want this guy to focus on shooting this. And we can see he is. And the moment we start spotting the carrier for him, he's just going to turn and shoot the carrier. It's just the way people work. And we can see the Midway is now somewhere over here already, so that's perfectly fine for us. We're going after this Kutuzov with our dive bombers. We just ordered our fighter to escort the Armageddon. I guess that's fine. And there we go. Click. One fire on him. We've got a torpedo bomber going in there as well. Even if he panics it, our job here is either to force him to broadside in the Moine, in which case rip Kutuzov, or to suck our torpedo bombers. And that seems to be what's going on. We got him to suck our torpedo bombers. So, hi. Bye. And now, this guy is low enough HP that we can just dive bomber him and kill him. Or the Des Moines will just kill him. Whatever, it's pretty much irrelevant. That's not really going to achieve much. I would try to just fly properly in there. There you go, we don't even get a single hit. It's a reset, and this squadron is... I think we're just busy typing at the moment. So, meh. But he did defensive, so I guess let's just bugger right off again. You see, the dive bombers are coming in again. At this point, even just panicking it is not going to be sufficient. As we can see, the opponent fighters are actually now somewhere in the mid, but he's out of them because we've dealt with a good chunk of them, which I guess is fair. The Midway does click through our panic down the Armageddon, which is a bit unfortunate because now we need to deal with this, or at least the Kurfürst needs to deal with that. Who cares about the Midway? That's going to be spotted, so these guys just leave a dive bomber there to spot it. It's basically going to get farmed by the rest of the team. So that's no real problem at all. I guess we can just go in and try to deal with the rune at this point. That's exactly what we've got going in. Double torpedo bomber. He does have a floatplane fighter up, so one of our squads is definitely getting panicked. Number 4 can definitely commit the drop now. Ooh, unfortunately it circles. I'm not sure it's going to be panicked. Replays have a tendency not to be accurate with that, but it definitely did get panicked, which is a bit unfortunate. And that's, I think, slightly underled. Runes are not that fast. Well, not that slow either, though. So I think it's slightly underled. We do have to pick up the one hit that actually gets the drop, so... yeah, I guess we got away with it, and it maybe have told us some information. It might have told us that the opponent rune is actually out of his defensives now, which could be kind of nice. Regardless, we lose a fighter. It's no big deal at this point because the game is in its closing stages, and the Midway still spotted, so hopefully he's going to get shot at, but I think the entire team actually might be all behind islands. I'm not sure if that's a rune with fire prevention or not, but we just need to get a flooding on him, and that guy is going to the bottom. And there you go, that rune is really, really low HP. We get a dive bombers in there, we click a fire on this guy, and he's buggered. And there you go, Cosmos finishes off the Midway as our dive bombers get some pretty horrible RNG. We do pick up 2 hits in a fire, so this guy is stuffed. Pretty well played game overall. We made some minor mistakes. I don't know about how good your FPS and your the game client's ability to allow you to actually micro is, but normally I suggest against having fighters just ordered into escorting, just the good old click on top of friendly stuff to circle it. Because usually, if you circle you escort friendly planes, you just get them straight to death. And if you, order them to escort a friendly ship, they'll just do this 4-kilometer float plane circle and then usually not achieve anything because the enemy planes will attack when your plane's on the other side. Normally, I suggest you just keep it between and just every now and then move it a little bit, or even just click on the map and order the ship to order the plane to move around the enemy's planes when they start approaching. You just click on the map. It doesn't have to be anywhere near accurate, but the enemy carrier is probably watching that area, even if you're not. So he might think that you're watching, and he might think you're paying attention. So if you have the ability just to do that, you can quickly throw him off. And if he doesn't have any fighters nearby, he might just consider breaking away and coming back later which is good for us because then we've finished our attack and we can actually micro the defense. So just occasionally moving planes like that can be very beneficial to throw off your opponent, or at least to make him think that you're actually paying attention to something that realistically speaking you're not, because he doesn't know what you're looking at. He has no way of knowing that. He can make a guess. He can make a guess that because you're attacking, you're not paying attention. But if he then suddenly sees your, if he is thinking this far and he sees, oh shit, you're moving the fighters while attacking. Jesus Christ, I'm against a good carrier play. What the hell am I supposed to do? Let's get my fighters in there instead of trying to strike through this. So a lot of it is mind games to consider. But overall, I couldn't really pick up. There were no real major mistakes. Most of it's just small nitpicking. Like your headwind launch was kind of thrown away, losing a couple of fighters to losing a couple of planes to strafing. But in the end, it was completely irrelevant. It's just nitpicking and min-maxing. In the end, we didn't run out of planes. We had run out of we had gotten the enemy carrier to run out of planes and whatnot. So it's it's overall a very good run. Now let's have a look at the scoreboard. We got 250k damage, over 24 torpedo bomber hits. Unlucky with the Yamato not getting flooded earlier, but 9 fires with 22 dive bomber hits. Japanese bombers, they are rather accurate, so you tend to not get more than half of them setting fires. Unlike the QS ones, which you can get like 75% that set fires, simply because they have a tendency to spread over larger areas of the ship. And we also clicked on targets that had the fire prevention, like for example, the Yamato we killed. We get our Witherer, we get Devastating Strike Confederate, we pick up the Kraken, obviously with 7 kills, First Blood, and High Caliber at 190k, because there aren't that many high health ships on the teams. Speaking of teams, having a look at the team scoreboard, 3034 base XP, very, very good result. High damage, good plane kills, and 7 kills. I kind of would have expected like 3.5k at this point, to be honest. Friendly Code first is the second guy on the team. He seemed to have a pretty decent game. Could have maybe achieved more, but meh, whatever. The enemy carrier basically, kind of lost his ways later in the game, especially once the team started pressuring him. Never paid too much attention to his position of his own ship, and he was not safe. Kind of funny that both of these Yugamos got 0 XP. I mean, they were definitely not AFK. They were definitely moving, but I guess they didn't move sufficiently for the game to recognize them as being active parts of the battlefield. So poor guys, both of them got 0 XP, being picked on by the carriers at the start. Overall, looking at the play shot down, enemy Midway 23, the Ruin 11, he had defensive, enemy Yamato 13 because we attacked him. I think you see, count these planes together and they're just a little bit over 50, so we're not actually under pressure of being deployed. And we'll see that once we look at the detailed report. We lost 28 torpedo bombers, 21 dive bombers, and only 13 fighters, which is very good, killing 22 of the Midway's fighters, and we know the friendly anti-aircraft killed a bunch of them as well. We killed 19 dive bombers and 10 torpedo bombers, not enough to actually deplane him. We did do some panicking in down the line, which is nice because we weren't really in either a micro position or a actual match and playing position to do some proper strafings on the way in. But maybe we could have strafed stuff out, but I think we had reasonably good optimization of our fighter usage. We opted to deplane the enemy midway or fighters first, something that you're not just going to be able to do now after the 2-2 patch. So after the 2-2 patch, it's just going to be a lot more about getting attacks in, killing destroyers, and then getting out of there before the opponent midway is able to react or get planes in there. And just overall not feeding, because 45 fighters versus your 20-30 odd is not really going to get you too far. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast / replay analysis. If you want me to go over your replays like this, pick out what I think could have been done better, done differently, or what you did great, just send me a replay to replays.strangers123@gmail.com. There will be a email address in the description below. Give me a quick description of the game or anything specific you would like me to have a look at. If you want me to be incredibly critical, for example, like this game, or just generally pick up things, or just maybe even go over what I would like to do. Keep in mind, of course, this is me and my opinion. Yours obviously may differ along with your gameplay style. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just means that I'll be commenting on what I think I would have done and what I think would be better for the situation. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day, take care, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.